The digital revolution is transforming our world at an astonishing rate. In 1990 there were only 12 million subscribers to cell phones. 22 years later that number had increased to 6 billion, nearly one for every person on Earth. In 1990 there were only 2.8 million users on the internet. By 2012 that number had multiplied to 2.4 billion users. Rupert Murdoch said, "The world is changing very fast. Big will not beat small anymore. It will be the fast beating the slow." In the Andes Mountains of South America, a poor Ecuadorian village that had scraped up enough to buy one computer was saved from a threatening horde of giant carnivorous army ants by help received over the internet from a community in Peru. As hundreds of thousands of American jobs were lost overseas, Lauren Asplin of the International Union of Electronic, Electrical, Salaried Machine and Furniture Workers warned, there is no job security now. It was becoming obvious that displaced workers would need to retrain and most likely upskill so they could move further up the technology chain if they were to find their new place in the world. An American BLS study in 2007 deduced that the 160 occupations identified to be at risk of offshoring impacted around 30 million jobs, or 26% of the total American workforce. Of these, 54% of workers in the at-risk category possessed a bachelor's or higher degree, and over 80% had at least some college education. Training your foreign replacement. Some companies stand accused of being heavy-handed and insensitive in the way they have conducted the transfer of jobs offshore. It's distressing enough for workers to be told they are losing their jobs to lower-paid foreign workers overseas, but the situation is made all the worse when these same soon-to-be redundant workers are made to train their replacements prior to their termination. A US news report warned, as the world's most populous nations, China and India are poised to outthink and outcompete us by their sheer numbers. Employers and employees alike need to carefully examine their place in the business world and where and how it might be impacted or threatened. Singapore's Lee Kuan Yew said, "If you deprive yourself of outsourcing and your competitors do not, you're putting yourself out of business." The digital revolution is destroying jobs much faster than it is creating new ones, and the jobs that are being created will only require a small fraction of the workforce that has been displaced. Instagram, an online photo sharing and social networking service, launched in October 2010. It was acquired by Facebook in 2012 for around $1 billion. It had just 13 employees. With the average baby boomer 500,000 short on retirement savings, forget about retirement. We'll be working for the rest of our lives. Many of us will still be up to our eyeballs in debt when we retire. We're just one medical emergency from bankruptcy, says Rodney Brooks in USA Today. Conservative savers who sought the safety of cash and fixed income investments at the onset of the global financial crisis of 2007 have slowly been backed into a corner by central bank policies around the world. These central banks are unrelenting in their efforts to push more of these savers away from the safety of cash and further into the danger zone by taking on more risk and purchasing artificially inflated stocks and real estate.